in the hospital setting, not in the laboratory or the industrial setting. Do you understand? We have those who go into industries, mixing of chemicals, concoctions, and drug production, and all those ones. I mean, uh, mixing of drugs, chemicals. I mean, you understand, petroleum and all those ones. Those ones are industrial, but we are talking about clinical biochemistry. So with the clinical, we are talking about our focus is at the hospital, and our focus is on health. Do you understand?
Yes, please.
Right.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
sir.
Yes, please.
Our focus is going to be
Our
on health.
focus is
So I will not be bothering you that much with how do you call it, compounds and chemical reactions and chemical compounds. No, when we see those ones, we will skip them because you would not really need them in your practice. Okay, you are going to you would need the interpretations and the knowledge about it. You don't really need the this one, how do you call it, the chemical bonds, the chemical reactions. You're not going to react anything. Even myself, I don't react anything. You understand? But I know the knowledge. I know that if you mix this with this, if you they are drug interactions and other stuffs. So you need to get the knowledge. That is what is going to help us. Do you understand? Let me just see your thumbs up. Okay. So when we talk about biochemistry, it says the chemistry of life. So let's follow the slide that okay, please, is a hand up. Let me hear you. The slide is too small, eh? Can you see the slide?
Yes,
yes,
Yes.
it's okay.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
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 it's
yes,
good.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's just a it's just a
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
that's
Let's
fine. Let's
continue.
continue.
So please
So please
just
just
follow suit.
follow
If you have
suit.
any
If you have
question, you can write it down. Then as time goes on, I'll open for questions that you can ask. Okay, but then let's make the slide follow. We it's quite a lot, so we need to go very fast. But then you understand. If you have any question you don't understand, I can pause for you to ask your question. Then we can continue. Are we okay? Yeah. So biochemistry is a definition, the chemistry
yes,
of life, the science concerned with chemical basis of life. So it's basically about life. Understand? Biochemistry is basically about life. When we talk about the normal chemistry is talking about all those ones, those chemical concoctions, those ones. But when we add the bio, we are talking about life. We are talking about human health. We are talking about human being. The science concerned with various molecules that occur in living cells and organisms and with their chemical reactions. So when you hear about biochemistry, you are talking about the chemical reactions that occur in living cells. For anything that happens in the body, the food that you eat changing from one form to another, it is a biochemical process that is undergoing place for you to eat, and the food will be converted from one form to another. The food you eat in carbohydrate, you eat in banku, and now it is being stored as glucose. You take in fish, you take in steak, you take in pork meat, you take in anything at all protein, and it's being converted into protein for you. You understand? That protein, that carbohydrate we are talking about, we don't see them. It's something you can't see. But then it's converted into that state. You understand? So biochemistry is talking about the science of the with the various molecules that occur in living cells. You understand? For your body, for the food you eat to be converted to one another, a whole lot of chemical reaction take place. And that is what we are talking about over here. So it's a branch of science which deals with the study of chemical reactions occurring in living cells and organisms. Is this one clear? It's a branch of science that deals with the study of chemical reactions occurring. Someone should put there. Madam Lulu, is it you? Olumide, is it you? Someone's the background is noisy. So it deals with the study
I'm
of chemical
sorry.
reactions occurring in living cells and organisms. Okay. So basically, I mean, it's explanatory. The chemical reaction that is occurring in you as a human being, for you to see growth, for the food you eat to be converted from one form to another. for the for the organs to be able to function in the body, these chemical reactions take very vital role. That is why we will need to do, if you want to check whether someone's organ is functioning well, we request for what? A liver function test for the liver, kidney function test for the kidney. Then for all the organs in the body, for you to know that it is functioning well, you need to take a sample and go and run a biochemistry test. You understand? To go and run a biochemistry test. And that is what we use to determine whether your organs are functioning well. How do we know someone's kidney is failing? We take sample and go and run a biochemistry test. We are going to see whether the chemical reactions that take place in the body regarding the kidneys are all normal, or there's a fault, or there's a problem. And so when there's a problem, you will see it evident in the what? In the results. When there is no problem, everything is fine. Likewise, the kidney, likewise the liver, the prostate, all other cells. I mean, the vital ones, most of them we do biochemistry tests for them. We are going to know most of the tests as we go and know how to interpret them and how to appreciate it, and the need for you to request it for your clients. You understand? You cannot be a naturopathic doctor who do not request for investigations. No, now you are not going to be treated like I was saying in internal medicine. You are not going to be treating blindly again. Now you are going to be treating patient with evidence. You say patient has kidney problem. What is the result? I mean, have you done a kidney function test to know how the kidney is looking like? You say person has liver problem. Have you done a liver function to know how the liver is looking like? That is what we are going to learn in biochemistry. You understand? We want to know the chemical reaction that is occurring in the heart, in the human body. And it's very, very, very important for you to know as a naturopathic doctor. You understand? So that, like I said the last time, so that when we are communicating, when you call me and we are communicating, we have a particular level that we are communicating. I'll ask you about the kidney function, then you tell me that, oh, okay, the kidney function is this is a creatinine level, this is the urea level, this is a potassium level, this is the EGFR. Then I know that yes, you know what you are talking about, and so I can take it out from you and also continue if the need for that for me to continue from you. Then we become at a particular level. Do you understand? So let's continue. So life is a chemical process. So they're talking about biochemistry. It's a chemical process involving thousands of different reactions occurring in an organized manner. These are called metabolic reactions. It takes into account the studies related to the nature of chemical constituents of the living matter, their transformations in biological systems, and the energy changes associated with these transformations. Now we are saying that you as a human being, a lot of chemical reactions takes place in you. And any chemical reaction that is taking place in the body, we call it metabolic reactions. So all chemical reactions that are taking place in the body, we say is what? The difference, they are organized. These are called metabolic reactions. The chemical process that is taking place in you. This converting to this converting to that. We are going to talk about glycolysis. We are going to talk about Krebs cycle. We are going to talk about a whole lot of metabolic processes that is taking place in you as a human being. You understand? Do you know that sometimes you are hungry, the body has to find other ways to provide energy for you when you have even not eaten? Do you know that sometimes when you are we'll say someone is running and he has got muscle pull. How did the muscle pull happen? Why should muscle pull happen? You understand? A whole lot of things are happening. Someone has you say someone is, well, the person was very fine, then he was in the office and had a heart attack. How did it happen? There's a whole lot of things that has gone on in the body. You are not seeing it, so it's a metabolic reaction. You don't see, it's not something you can see, but it's occurring at the chemical level, at the biomolecular level. And that is what we're talking about biochemistry. Yeah. So it takes place into account the studies related to the nature of the chemical constituents of living matter. So it's basically focusing on what? Living matter. Biochemistry may thus be treated as a discipline in which biological phenomena are analyzed in terms of chemistry. So you get it. So biological phenomena, things that are happening in the body, we are looking at the chemistry part of it, the chemical part of it. So biochemistry, we are looking at, so now we are going to see that anything that is happening in the body, we are looking at it at the chemical level, not at the biological level, not at the physical level, not in physics or anything. We are looking at the chemistry that is taking place. That is, why is this causing this? Why is this converting into this? Why is this leading to this? Why is this forming that? Do you understand? Yeah. So the branch of biochemistry for this, for the same reason, has been variously named as biological chemistry or chemical biology. Modern biochemistry has two branches. We have biochemistry and dynamic biochemistry. So, we are focusing on biochemistry. Many newer disciplines have been emerged from biochemistry, such as enzymology. So we have other disciplines from biochemistry, and those ones are focusing on the various, things that that components of biochemistry. We have enzyme activity, endocrinology, study of hormones, clinical biochemistry, study of diseases, molecular biochemistry, study of biomolecules and their functions. You understand? So you realize that they are all about what? Human beings. They are all about living cells. The major objective of biochemistry is the complete understanding of all the chemical processes associated with living cells at the molecular level. So this is very important. I want you to note this one. So in biochemistry, we are not focusing on the physical level. We are talking about the molecular level. At the molecular level, when we say molecular level, at a level where you can't see. You understand? Unless it can be done in the lab. I don't know how to put it. I mean, at a level where you can, at the basic level, when you say molecules, molecules are compounds, are broken down fragments of a compound. Uh, in normal biochemistry, SHS, DHS biochemistry, when we talk about compounds are made up of what? Are made up of molecules, right? When we say compound, a compound is two or more compounds that are molecules that are joined together or that are formed together to form a compound. So when we say molecule, we are talking about the basic level, at the basic level. In other words, to describe and explain in molecular terms all chemical processes of living cells. So biochemistry is what? We're talking about all chemical processes that are occurring in what? Living cells. I'm sure by now you guys understand what I'm talking about biochemistry. Is this all I'm talking about is about biochemistry for you to understand it proper? Is there any
Yes, sir.
is there any question? Is there any question from here? No question, just say carry on, sir. Then I'll carry on.
Carry on, sir.
All right, no problem. So in other words, to describe and explain in molecular terms all chemical processes of living cells, structure and function, metabolism and regulation, how life began. To achieve this objective, biochemists have attempts to isolate numerous. Mr. Tetevi, please put your video off. Numerous molecules found in cells to determine their structure and analyze how they function. These ones are reading parts. Biochemical studies have illuminated many aspects of disease, and the study of certain disease has opened up new therapeutic approaches. So biochemistry helps us to know about, dive into how certain diseases come about. You understand? As a biochemist, you would know how certain conditions erupt. When we say somebody has hyperglycemia, somebody has high sugars, you would know how it came about. what the person ate or how it came about. You understand? We say the person, somebody has a liver disease, chronic kidney disease. You'll be able to know why we are saying the person has liver disease, because you'll be able to do the labs and you can be able to interpret it, or you'll be able to know, I mean, what really brought about it. Yes, at the in the chemical level, at the biochemistry level. I mean, not the causes. Can somebody show him how to? I mean, I don't know whether he's forgotten. Mr. Tetevi Kweku, your video is still on. Just click on the video sign, the one next to the the um the audio, and I mean cover your video for me, okay? Let's forget those that I forget about. Just forget about them. Biochemists work. So we want to know where do biochemists work? They work in various hospitals, industry, drug designs and development, environmental science, forestry, and a whole lot of places that a biochemist can work. Because I mean, all these areas, we are talking about human health. When we talk about immunology, talking about immunity, vaccine research, it's about human health, virology, human health, toxicology, microbiology, food science, plant science. It's about living cells. You understand? So they provide diagnosis services, carrying out tests on blood, urine, and other body fluids while researching the underlying cause. So biochemists use samples. We call them, in the medical term, we say samples. So they use samples from either your urine. I mean, all body fluids can be used as a sample. So how many body fluids do we have? We have the urine. We have what? Who can mention some for us? Urine. Any other? Who can mention some? Urine.
Urine.
Okay, let me.
We have
Let me see.
Blood,
We have
saliva,
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 Stool.
stool,
Sweat, tears.
yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can mute yourself. So we have saliva, we have sputum. That's the one from the phlegms from cough. We have saliva, we have urine, we have stools, we have CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, the one from the brain. We also have the brain and the spinal cord. We also have synovial fluid, the one from the joints, especially the knee joints. They are all fluids from the body. We have blood itself. You understand? Aha. So those are what the biochemists use as samples to check. Yeah. So significant, essential to all life sciences as a common knowledge. So biochemistry is essential to all these lives: genetics, cell biology, molecular biology. We talk about biochemistry works in all these areas. Okay. So students who acquire a sound knowledge of biochemistry will be in a strong position to deal with two central concerns of the health sciences. One, the understanding and the maintenance of health. Two, the understanding and effective treatment of disease. So you being a biochemist, we are saying that if you learn biochemistry, you'll be able to understand the what? You understand health proper. You being a biochemist, you'll be able to know that, oh, this is what really happens. It will be the outcome for doing this condition. Okay, let's use one particular condition for instance. Let's use diabetes. You being a biochemist, you get to know that. You get to know how diabetes comes about. You get to know what patients need to do when there is hypoglycemia, when there is hyperglycemia, when the sugars are high, when the sugars are low. You'll be able to know how it is. So understand the maintenance of health. Then also understand the effective treatment of disease. Be able to know what brings about, be able to know how diseases are formed or how disease processes come about. And so if you know how they come about, then you can know how to what, how to, you can know the antidotes to be given to it. So that's what we are talking about here. Be able to know causes of cancers, be able to know molecular lesions causing various genetic diseases, rational designs of new drugs. That is if you are in the industrial setting. So there's a bit of history on biochemistry, history and development of biochemistry. There's this man called the Newbeck. He's a German. He talked about the chemistry of life. So you can read about him, okay? 1903 Newbeck. You can read about him. As part of our to make broaden on your knowledge. So he had two notable. He's actually a scientist. Some of the inventors of what chemistry of life. He did two inventions. He has two notable ones. One, discovery of the role of enzymes as a catalyst. So we know enzymes. We say enzymes are catalysts of what? Of a chemical reaction. They speed up chemical reaction. Enzymes are catalysts in chemical reaction. For instance, let's say conversion of conversion of masticated food from the food you have taken into a different form, into a bolus, for it to be converted into how do you call it? Let's say, for instance, carbohydrates. Let's say banku to be converted into the carbohydrate or to converted into starch. It starts from the mouth. We have what we call the salivary amylase in the mouth. You understand? Salivary amylase it's an enzyme in the mouth that change the food from one form to another so that it can be absorbable by the body. We have the pepsin and renin in the what? In the stomach. You understand? So these are enzymes. So he discovered the role of what enzymes as catalysts. As enzymes are, they are, how do you call it? Molecular substances, biomolecules of how do you call it? Substances or agents that speed up chemical reactions in the body. Then the second one was identification of what nucleic acid as information molecule. So he invented what we call the DNA, the RNA. You understand? Flow of information from the DNA, RNA, and those ones are proteins. So he invented two things: enzymes and also the nucleic acids. That's the DNA and the RNA. So, and you realize that these two things are very important in the body. Your DNA, the DNA gives us the genetic makeup of everyone, and he brought that invention. Then the second one is the enzymes. Enzymes also facilitating chemical reaction. What does biochemistry discuss? Structure and function of cellular components, proteins. So biochemistry basically talks about the various components of the body. Cellular components. We have proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, and other biomolecules. Metabolism and regulation. That is what biochemistry discusses. Then genetic makeup, gene expression and modulation. In biochemistry, we are going to be looking at protein. We are going to be looking at carbohydrates, lipids. Then we'll look at nucleic acids. Some of them, the major ones that we are going to look at are we are going to look at the lipids and the carbohydrates. Then we also look at glucose. That will be in biochemistry too. But for biochemistry, we're going to look at the lipids. We'll look at carbohydrates. We'll look at water. We'll look at lipids. They are all very necessary for us to learn. We call something polymers and monomers. Now we are delving into it. There are some biochemistry terms that you need to know. When we say a polymer, what does it mean? When we say a monomer, what does it mean? So from the words you can know them. We say by your fruit you shall know them. So poly means many, mono means one. Okay, so poly means what? Many. Mono means what? One. Do we understand that? So this one is an English term. Poly poly means many, mono means one. Okay, so each of these types of molecules are polymers that are assembled from single units called monomers. So we are saying that these ones, proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, they are what? They are polymers. When we say they are polymers, they are a combination of what? Of several molecules that have come together to form one compound. And that compound, we say they are what? This is a polymer. When we say it's a polymer, we say it is formed from what? Several monomers. And the monomers can be what? Can be how do you call it? It can be small, it can be other smaller compounds forming a bigger compound, or it can be it can be elements coming together to form a compound. Do you have basic, the way I'm seeing it looks like I'm speaking to some people who have basic chemistry background. Does any of you have basic chemistry backgrounds? When I say okay, that's fine. That's fine. So you can understand.
I don't have.
Oh, sorry about that. But I mean, we're talking about elements, compounds, and their elements. All those ones. I think that one is in the how do you call it? Interscience. Back in GHS. Yeah, we can't go that far. So I'll just say that you follow. Okay. Yeah.
I will follow
Yeah.
because my teacher is dead 8 years ago.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
We too are formed for Oliver, not JSS.
Hey, Mr. Peter, I can see that. The voice even tells us that. Yeah. But we all learn along. Don't worry. We'll learn along. I'll go. I mean, I'll be so down so that
slower for
don't worry. I'll be areas where I need to go down for you to understand. I'll go down. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So, like I was saying, I'm saying that when we say polymer, it means that it is formed from several monomers. It's like let's say polymer will be like, let's say Kumasi Metropolitan. Kumasi, when we say Kumasi Metropolitan, we mean what? There are a lot of districts that are under the metropolitan. So let's take the district as monomers and the metropolitan as a polymer. Yeah. So that's how we put it. So the monomers come together to form the metropolitan. So K is what? Kumasi Metropolitan or Accra Metropolitan is made up of what? Several municipalities or several districts coming together to form that. So let's put it that way. I think this one you understand.
Yeah, monomers are building blocks that will connect together to form polymers.
Exactly. You are right. Exactly. So each type of molecule, macromolecule, is an assemblage of a different type of monomer. So when we say macromolecule, let's say polymers, each type of polymer is an assemblage of what? Several monomers that come together to form a I'll use some how do you call it? Diagrams to show you. So you see, these are the polymers are the macromolecules. So the polymers are the macromolecules. So for instance, let's look at carbohydrates. Monosaccharides come together to form, two or more monosaccharides will come together to form carbohydrates. Or in other words, we say that when carbohydrates are broken down, we get monosaccharides. You understand? So let's say, for instance, when KMA is split down, we get when we break down KMA, now we get what? We get the different districts in under KMA. That's how it is. So lipids are also broken down into what? Glycerols and fatty acids. So fatty acids will come together to form a lipid. Amino acids, proteins are broken down to amino acids. So several amino acids will come together to form protein. You understand? Nucleic acid broken down into what? Nucleotides. So several nucleotides will come together to form a nucleic acid. Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just explaining it. You can choose to record the lecture so that if you are learning and you want to be playing and listening, is no problem. That would be good, cry. It will help you with your learning. So we are saying that how do monomers form polymers? So this one, I mean, let's read through, but you don't really need it. In condensation reaction, also called dehydration synthesis, a molecule of water is removed from two monomers as they are connected together. So this one is basically about a chemical reaction, how monomers will form into a polymer. So they will have to lose one water. They will have to lose one water to become compacted to form the polymer. You don't really need this one. Let's go on. Do you see this one? So you see this slide. This is a monomer coming together to form a polymer. So you realize that the monomer has two amino acids. This is one amino acid, this one amino acid. Now it forms what? A polypeptide. That's a polymer. Do you see it? So you see it's separated. This one, there's a plus in between the two. There's a plus sign. Have you seen the plus sign? I'm just using the diagram to explain something to you about polymer and monomer.
Yeah.
You see there's a plus sign. So two amino acids, they come together to form what? A long polymer. These are polymers. You understand? Nucleotides, two nucleotides come together to form a nucleic acid. Two monosaccharides come together to form what? A polysaccharide. And this is what? These are polymers. So the polymers are on our right and the monomers are on our left. And this one is taking place, and whatever that is taking place is what? It's a metabolic reaction that is taking place. You can't see this one. Okay, you can't see this one. For instance, if a polymer is being broken down in the body to form let's say you eat in the, so the polymer can be, we say the polymer can be what? Can be the protein or the food that you took in, the meat, the chicken, the cow meat that you took in, that has been taken into the body. It has to be broken down into what? And be converted into protein, and the protein will be broken down into amino acids. So all this that is taking on is a chemical reaction that is taking place, and we say it's what? Because it occurs in the body, we say it's what? It's a metabolic reaction. It's a metabolic reaction. Yeah. So like you said, someone said, are the building blocks, that is it over here. So building blocks that form what? The bigger one. So it's like the constituencies or the how do you call it? The districts in this one, in Ashanti region, coming together to form what? The Kumasi Metropolitan. You understand? So that's a building block. So we say simple sugars are bound together, are built together to form what? To form a macromolecule called polysaccharide. Amino acids combine together to form protein. So it means that when you break down protein, the end result is what? Is amino acid. When you break down RNA, DNA, you get a nucleotide. Lipids. When lipids are broken down into what? Into fatty acids. Now you see that there are two arrows there. There are two. I was talking about metabolic reaction. When we talk about metabolic, we are saying that any reaction that is taking on within the body is a metabolic reaction. And with a metabolic reaction, with since it's a what? It's a chemical reaction. It involves what? Enzymes. So any reaction that is taking on inside the body is a metabolic reaction. Now we have about 3 forms of metabolic reaction. Now over here we're going to talk about 2. So as you see over there, you see the arrows. You see the arrows. There's a green arrow and there's a red arrow.
Yes, please.
So we say anabolic reaction. We are learning the terminology. So please give me 1 second. Hello? Yeah. I'm good, bro. How far? No, I'm at home. All right. Thank you for your patience. Um. So I was talking about two metabolic reactions that take place in the body. The two main ones, we say what? Anabolic reaction and a catabolic reaction. Two things takes place in the body. Mainly two. There are some instances whereby we have an amphibolic reaction where three of them are taking place, but mostly we have two. So it's either there is what an anabolic reaction or there is a catabolic reaction. Do you understand? So what do you think will be, how will you define uh anabolic reaction? Who can define anabolic reaction for me from what we have said so far? If you really understand what I've explained so far and looking at the diagram, what will be what when we say anabolic reaction, what does it mean? What do we say in mere man's terms from what you see over
Hello.
here?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so from your explanation, anabolic reaction is when, for example, a simple sugar is converted into polysaccharide, that is a bigger sugar size, and that is when that occurrence is said to be an anabolic reaction.
Okay, that's perfect. You are right. You are right. But then I want to say that if you want to talk, please put your, let's use it, okay, so that it wouldn't be, we want to prevent that from the word goes. If you want to talk, just put your, you just raise your hand. Use the arrows. Let's use our arrows very well. That's fine. So that is very right. So it's a, all right. So let's, Mr. Imano, the second one. Let's hear from you too.
Okay,
Imano Ban.
so in simple time, anabolic means making it bigger, and then catabolic means making it smaller. So let's say breaking down is catabolic. That's the simplest way or the easiest way I can explain it.
You
Thank
are
you, sir.
right, my brother. You are right. You are right. That is it. No, don't worry yourself with any big English. Be anabolic is breaking, catabolic is breaking down. Anabolic is what? Forming, making it bigger, or this one making it smaller. Yes, any other person? Any other person?
Yes,
Yeah, let's hear you.
sir.
Simply put, I would say anabolic means you are
Yes.
integrating molecules to form a bigger one, while catabolic means disintegrating molecules to form smaller molecules. Disintegrating
You
a
are
bigger
right.
molecule to smaller molecules. Yeah.
You are right. You are right. That is it exactly. You are right. You are. I mean, you are all on point. Kudos to you guys. Oh, where's my emoji? Let me give you some 5 emojis. So you are really following. That is it. So when we say, so anabolic reaction is a reaction that is formed by the combination of two or more monomers to form a polymer, or catabolic, the split of polymers into what? Into monomers, or that is formed from two or more smaller molecules to a bigger molecule for what? For anabolic, then bigger molecules splitted into smaller molecules. Any way you put it, you just have to understand and then get the meaning of it for the interpretation, for the definition there is in your head. Okay, anabolic means you are splitting. So just use the analogy of the KMA something, or analogy of a building, whatever. If you are building it up, it is anabolic. If you are splitting it down, it is a catabolic reaction. I'm sure we are on the same page now. Yeah. So as part of, I was asking you whether you have treated the cell. As part of our studies in biochemistry, the cell is going to be one very important, I mean, organ that's in the body, or one very important component in the body. that we'll be learning about it. And as we all know, the cell is a basic building block of life. You understand? They are the building block. Every organ starts from the cell. So the cell is like the first block you lay. If you are building your first block that you lay, you need the first block. For instance, let's say you want to build a wall. You need a first block. You need some 2 blocks to set the line. If you have to put 1 block down, that is the what that is your cell. So the smallest you living. So we have talked about all those ones, but we need to know about the cell too, because we are going to be using the cell when we are learning about lipids, when you are learning about glucose, when you are learning about protein. We need a cell. So you need to learn about. You need to know what a cell is. So a smallest living unit of organism. A cell may be an entire organism, unicellular, or it may be one of the billion cells that make up an organism, multicellular. Grow, produce, use energy, adapt, response to the environment. That's the cell. Many cannot be seen with a naked eye. A typical cell is about 10 micrometer. A typical cell mass is about 1 nanogram. So you can't really see the cell unless you use an aided eye. You use a microscope to see the cell. You understand? So when you pick a small tissue, let's say you do a biopsy, and let's say they take your blood sample, they just put something small down and they go and look at it at the cellular level. So when the laboratory scientists go into the lab, they for instance, let's say malaria, they want to look out for parasites in your blood. They put something small on a slide and put it under the microscope, and the microscope will magnify the cells for you. If you have ever had the chance or the opportunity to look into a microscope at the lab before, you see a lot of cells. I mean, some small slide, some small amount of blood, drop of blood, the number of cells that you see in it. So that is it. They are very tiny. You can't see with the naked eye. I'm coming on. So we have talked about cells as the basic unit of life. And we're also talking about biomolecules. So we are saying that, you see, just like cells are building blocks for the body, biomolecules are building blocks for what? You say biomolecules are building block of tissues. Biomolecules are building block of cells. So just like cells are biomolecules of tissues. Okay, so when we talk about the how do you call it? The cell structure. We have cells. Cells come together to form what? Tissues. Tissues forms what? Organs, right? Do you remember? Basic O level science. O level people. We have cells coming together what? Form tissues. Tissues will form what? Tissues will form organs. Organs will come together to form organ systems.
System.
Before a living organism. You understand? Now we are saying that when we talk about biomolecule, we are talking about what? That one is below cells. That one comes before cells. So you see what I'm talking about? The cell is something tiny, something small. Let's say, I don't know how to even put it.
I say it's the smallest particles of substance.
Yes, but I want to say that under the smaller particle, now we are talking about the components that make up the cell. The smallest of the cell. That one comes below the cells. Do you understand? So that I continue. So biomolecules are
Explain.
building blocks of the cell. Cells are the basic blocks of human being, of life. I mean, life starts from the cell. But then biomolecules are building blocks of the cells. Do you understand? Animals and plants contain approximately 10,000 kinds of biomolecules. Biomolecules come together to form the cell. So at in the lab, we if you are looking at something, if they are looking into your, I mean, they are looking into your lab, they are looking at it at the biomolecular level, not even at the cellular level, at the biomolecular level. That is where the chemical reaction is taking place. You understand? That is where the chemical reaction is. So it takes is at a very basic level. You understand? Let's say, for instance, the cell is, let's say, the cell is like the block. I was using the building as this one. So the cell is like the block. If the cell is like the building block, now the biomolecule will be like the what? The sun, the water, and the things that were made to form the block. Someone says here, do you understand? The biomolecules are the sand, the water, the cement that you use to form the block. If you are saying the
So
block is a
so
cell,
can we say materials?
exactly, they are the materials.
Yeah, they are the raw material.
Exactly, but in this in in the in the metabolic reaction, you don't see them. You can't see them.
Okay.
You can't see them. When they are looking into the, even biochemists, they can't see them. They only see the cell. But at the biomolecular level, there, that one you can't see them. It's just a chemical reaction. You don't see the chemical. You can't see the chemical reaction occurring. No. So that's what you're talking about. That's why I'm finding it difficult to use the block. Because if I use a block, you would think that because you can see the cement, the blocks, and the materials. No, this one, the material, you don't see them. All you see is the what? Is a block formed. So animals and other